Hey everyone, ready to make those conversations count? Today we're diving deep into LEIL Lowndes' How to Talk to Anyone.
It's packed with little tricks to really shift how people see you.
Totally. So first up, think about walking into a room. What kind of vibe do you give off right away, those first few seconds?
It's amazing how we size each other up so fast. Like it's primal, Leftover from way back when we had to figure out who was a threat.
Like cats? Lowndes uses that analogy how they suss each other out. Speaking of which, ever heard of the flooding smile?
Or your whole face just lights up.
Yeah, not just a quick grin. It's way more genuine, like when you're truly happy to see someone, not just posing for a photo.
Huge difference. Did you know a real smile, especially with kind eyes, actually releases oxytocin in the other person, the bonding hormone?
No way. So there's actually science behind it. It's
Yeah.
wild. No wonder it's so disarming. But eyes matter too, right? Lowndes talks about sticky eyes and, even more intense, epoxy eyes.
Oh yeah, sticky eyes, where you hold someone's gaze a tad longer, shows you're really tuned in. Now, epoxy eyes, though, those you got to be careful with.
They're like next level intensity, right?
For sure. Depending on the person, the situation, it can be misread. Like your heart rate goes up, maybe some adrenaline could be taken the wrong way.
So maybe save epoxy eyes for that inspiring speaker you want to chat with, not your new boss at the company party.
Exactly. Read the room, you
Mm.
know? This reminds me, though, a few years back, a conference, this neuroscientist, brilliant guy, during Q&A, this woman, her eyes were glued to him like laser beams.
Whoa, I bet he felt that.
He did. Fed off her energy, explanations got clearer, everything. It's like her focus boosted his whole presentation just by being so present.
That's incredible. Like Lon says, small tweaks, big impact. But what about when those first few moments are over? Because keeping the conversation going, that's not always easy.
You're talking about the dreaded small talk.
The one and only. Even really smart people, sometimes they dread it.
Totally get it. Feels forced, pointless even, but honestly, it's essential. It's the bridge, from hello to a real connection.
So how do we get past that fear? Make small talk, dare I say, enjoyable, or at least survivable.
Lowndes has this technique, prosaic with passion. It's not the topic, but the energy you bring.
So how you say it matters more than what you say.
100%. Imagine someone talking about, I don't know, collecting stamps, but with the excitement of someone who just climbed a mountain. Passion's contagious, draws people in.
Okay, I like that. But what about when you're fresh out of things to say, we've all been there, that awkward silence?
Lowndes to the rescue. She's got a trick called Never the Naked City. Basically, tailor your conversation starter.
Like fishing. Different bait for different fish, right?
Spot on. Consider your audience. She uses the example of Columbus, Ohio. Now, that could be about city planning if they're into architecture or
Or history, or food, or I see what you mean. It's about finding common ground, even in simple things.
you got it. Highlighting what'll resonate with them.
Makes sense. So we've got smiles, eye contact, surviving small talk. But what about being that person everyone wants to talk to, the conversational magnet?
That's where what's it comes in.
Oh, I love whatsits. Having something unique about you that sparks curiosity, a piece of jewelry, a hobby, anything.
People are naturally curious. It gives them an excuse to come talk to you. Lowndes, she carries an antique lorgnette, those old-fashioned eyeglasses on a handle. Instant conversation starter.
It's like a visual icebreaker. And speaking of, she's also got who's that for those awkward party moments when you want to talk to someone. But
Yeah.
how do you approach?
Right, this is where you find the host, point out the person, and say something like, who is that? They seem so interesting.
Smooth. No more awkward lurking on the sidelines.
Plus, the host is kind of vouching for you, makes the intro smoother.
Genius. Okay, we've covered first impressions, small talk, becoming a magnet. But what about drawing a blank mid-conversation, not knowing what to say next?
Lowndes suggests echoing, mirroring the other person's language to build rapport.
So not parroting, but reflecting back in a natural way.
Exactly. If they say, this weather makes me want to be outside all day, you could say, I know, right? Makes you want to soak it all in.
Finding that common ground, showing you're on the same wavelength.
It taps into this whole mirroring thing. When we hear our own words, even subtly, it builds trust.
Like a subconscious, hey, we get each other.
Ah.
Amazing. But what about being with a group where you just don't vibe? Lowndes tells this story about being stuck in an elevator with a bunch of mensons.
Oh, yeah. Talk about mismatched energy. She tries to make small talk and,
They hit her with a physics lecture.
yeah.
Proof even with the best intentions sometimes, communication styles clash.
For sure. Being aware of your audience, their energy, that's key.
Hmm.
Speaking of which, we've talked a lot about words, but what about what we don't say? Body language, that's a whole other level.
Totally. It's not just what you say, but how you say it,
Yeah.
right? And how you hold yourself.
Exactly. And Lowndes has this technique, hang by your teeth.
Hang by your teeth. Sounds a little intense even for me.
No worries, it's not about actual hanging. It's more like, imagine a lever bit dangling above you. Gently bite down, let it pull your head up, shoulders back. See?
Okay, yeah, instant posture boost. But how's that helped communication?
Good posture. It's not just looking confident, though it does that too. It changes how you feel inside. More powerful, more in control. That confidence, it shows.
So you stand tall, you feel confident, others see you that way too. It's all connected.
Exactly. And speaking of how we're seen, Lowndes talks about lawyers, how they analyze jurors' body language. Crazy, right? A slump, avoiding eye contact, they see that as untrustworthy, maybe even guilty.
You're kidding. We're saying so much even without words. It's like a whole secret language.
Right. The more aware we are of our own body language and what others are signaling, the better we can navigate things.
It's like leveling up your communication. Okay, so we've got first impressions, small talk, body language. How do we go deeper, make a real connection?
Lowndes talks about taking echoing further than just words. It's matching their communication style, like finding their frequency.
So beyond just the words, it's about that shared rhythm, that understanding.
Exactly. She gives this example, a friend who sells office furniture. He realized different industries have their own lingo, their gobbledygook.
Gobbledygook, gotta love that.
Right. So instead of generic terms, he'd use their industry jargon. Talking to advertising, he'd mention their agency, publishing, its publishing house.
Speaking their language, showing he gets their world.
Nailed it. It's not being fake, it's finding those little connections that you're paying attention to their thing.
Showing you get them. This might sound out there, but she also talks about figuring out people's dominant senses. Like, are they visual learners, auditory, all that?
It's similar. She calls it anatomically correct empathizers. If they're visual, auditory, whatever, you tailor your language to match.
Okay, now I'm really curious. Example, please.
Say someone's describing a plan, and they say, I can really see this working long term. To connect on their level, you'd use a visual empathizer, like, yes, I see what you mean, you have a clear vision.
But if they said, this plan has a good ring to it, then you go auditory, like, it does sound promising.
You're getting it. It's subtle, but it builds that understanding.
Like you're speaking their language, even on a sensory level. So cool. Now, what about this premature we thing?
This is how you fast-track intimacy. Think about it. Early on, you stick to safe topics. Then, as you get closer, you share feelings, opinions. Eventually, you're using we statements.
Like, we should grab coffee, or we got to try that new
Oh,
restaurant.
exactly. It shows closeness. And Lowndes says, by using we early on, even with someone new, you create that togetherness faster.
So instead of, I hope this weather stays nice, it's, we're so lucky to have such great weather.
You got it. Subtly, you're already on the same team sharing the experience.
Shortcut to rapport? Love it. But what about those inside jokes, the things that bond you?
Lowndes calls them private jokes. She tells this story about a company where everyone says, let's shake a crutch at it, whenever they dismiss an idea.
Wait, what? Is there a story behind that? Someone actually shook a crutch.
Yep. Became their thing, reminder of a shared moment.
That's hilarious. Like a secret language just for you two.
Exactly. It creates that sense of belonging, of being in on it, which really strengthens bonds.
Okay, so much good stuff here. Mirroring styles, the senses thing, we statements, even inside jokes. But what about delicate situations? How do you compliment someone without being cheesy? Or deal with negativity?
Lowndes has got your back. Compliments first, she suggests the grapevine.
Like gossip.
Not exactly, but it involves a story. Instead of, you look great, you say you heard it from someone else.
Ah, clever. So someone was just saying how amazing you look in that dress.
Bingo! Takes the pressure off you. Plus, it plays into social proof. We believe things more if we hear them from multiple sources.
Like the compliment has backup. Okay, but what about those negative Nancys? How do you deal without getting sucked in?
Lowndes calls this the knee-jerk wow.
Wait, is there actual knee-jerking? I'm not sure I have the coordination.
Haha, no. It's about fighting negativity with, well, positivity. They're complaining, and you're like, wow, that's crazy. Big energy, you know?
Even if you don't actually find it wow-worthy.
The point is to shift the energy. Your enthusiasm can be contagious. Snap them out of it.
Verbal judo.
I dig it. And if that doesn't work, the Birkin record. Pick your response, "That's too bad," or something, and just repeat it. Same tone, every time.
Like a negativity shield.
Exactly. You're not engaging in their drama.
This is gold. Okay, so much covered, from first impressions to tough conversations. But what about being more strategic with our communication?
You mean those high-stakes moments where you want to make a real impact? That's where Lowndes brings in the tiger tactics. Strategies for working a room, maximizing every interaction.
Okay, tiger tactics, I'm all ears.
Think of it as seeing social situations as opportunities, not just networking, but connecting, making a mark.
So how do we unleash our inner tiger?
It all starts with the entrance. She calls this one rubberneck the room.
Rubberneck the room? Am I literally craning my neck around?
Haha, no, not exactly. It's about being deliberate. Don't just rush in. Pause at the door, take a moment to get a sense of the room.
So like you're scoping things out before jumping in.
Exactly. Plus, it makes you seem interesting, like, who is this person?
While you're doing that, Lowndes says, adopt the be the chooser, not the choose mindset.
Oh, I love that. Taking charge, being proactive.
Yes, you're not waiting for people to come to you. You're finding who you want to connect with and going for it.
Like a social strategist. So once you've found your person, how do you approach without being, I don't know, creepy?
Come hither hands.
Some in their hands. Okay, now that sounds forward.
It's just about open body language. Think about it. Crossed arms, hands in pockets that says, stay away.
True, our body's talking even when we're not.
Right, so open hands, palms visible, that signals, hey, I'm approachable, come talk to me.
It's like a nonverbal, come say hi. Okay, so we've got the entrance, the approach. How do we keep things going?
Lowndes talks about tracking. Tracking, like I'm secretly following them. Because that's getting a little weird.
No. It's about remembering those little things people tell you, then bringing them back up later.
Oh, so if they mention their dog, Sparky, I might ask how Sparky's doing later on.
Exactly. Shows you were listening, that even small things they said mattered to you.
Like saying, hey, I remember you, you're important.
You got it. Makes them feel seen, heard, and that builds connection.
So true. Okay, entrance, approach, conversation flowing. How do you exit gracefully? Like, not seeming rude.
Eavesdrop in to the rescue. Say you're talking to someone but want to join another group. Instead of just standing there awkwardly, listen for a sec. When something's relevant, jump in.
So the conversation itself becomes your entry point.
Exactly. Smooth transition. Now, you mentioned the business card dossier before. This isn't just shoving cards in your wallet and hoping for the best, is it?
Tell me it's not.
Definitely not. This is turning those cards into reminders of real people. Jot down little notes on the back.
Like what kind of notes?
Anything.
Yeah.
A book they mentioned, a hobby, a funny story.
It's like a cheat sheet for building relationships.
You got it. Shows you're invested in them, not just collecting contacts.
So we've learned to make a killer first impression, handle small talk, body language, even work a room. But Lowndes takes it even further with tiger tactics, right?
Right. These are for those unspoken social dynamics, more advanced moves.
Okay, color me intrigued. More tiger tactics, please.
One of the big ones is see no bloopers, hear no bloopers.
See no bloopers, hear no bloopers. That sounds like a Lost Marx Brothers movie.
It's about recognizing we all mess up sometimes. Spill a drink, forget a name, tell the same story twice. Tigers, they just keep going.
Like they have this awkwardness force field.
Yes. Makes everyone else comfortable. So next time someone has a slip up, do the tiger thing, act like it never happened.
Good advice for life, really. What about when someone's struggling to tell a story, though? They lose their train of thought, it happens.
Lowndes calls this lend a helping tongue. Gently guide them back. Say, so you were saying about that thing at the grocery store.
Subtly, you're like, I'm here for it. Keep going.
Exactly. Shows empathy, support, which builds trust.
Okay, love it. Now, buttercups. Does this involve actual butter? Because, I'm pro-deliciousness in social situations.
Even better. It's about spreading goodwill strategically. Write complimentary letters to people's bosses.
Oh, sneaky. So next time I go back, they treat me like royalty.
She tells a story about getting amazing service from a manager, so she wrote to his boss, praising him.
Smart move.
Right. Acknowledge great work. Encourage it to happen again.
I like it. Investing in future happiness. But what about asking for favors? That could be so awkward.
Lowndes has you covered. It's called Bear the Buried Y of M. Stands for What's in it for me.
Okay, so being upfront about what you want. But how's that not sound selfish?
It's about framing it as a win-win. Be direct, but also highlight what they get out of it.
So instead of, can you do me a favor? It's, I'm working on this project, and I know you're amazing at their expertise, would love your insights, and I'm happy to return the favor.
There you go. You're valuing their skills and offering something in return.
It's about mutual benefit. This is great. Now, flipping it, what about saying no to a request? Especially when you don't want to hurt feelings.
Lowndes suggests leave an escape hatch, a graceful way out, even if they messed up.
Okay, I need an example.
She tells this story. A socialite who collects those fancy Fabergé eggs. A guest tries to pocket one.
No way. What'd she do?
Instead of drama, she just pretended he was admiring it, then took it back.
Smooth save. Address the situation without making it a huge deal.
Exactly. Sometimes grace and diplomacy are the way to go.
Agreed. We're almost done, but there's one more thing. This great scorecard in the sky idea.
Ah, yes. The idea that every relationship has this balance of give and take.
Not literally, though, right?
No, it's about being aware of the favors, the support. Is it always one-sided?
So if someone's always asking, never giving, that's
Yeah.
a red flag.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance where everyone feels valued.
Wow, we've covered so much. First impressions, small talk, body language, even those trickier social situations. It's been amazing.
It really has. The biggest takeaway is communication. It's a skill, and like any skill, you can practice and get better.
So by using these techniques, being more aware, we can build stronger connections, navigate the world with confidence.
Absolutely. And connect with people in a way that feels real. Isn't that what it's all about?
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
This deep dive has been incredible. And now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go practice my flooding smile and find a good what's it for my next outing.
I'll be on the lookout. Until next time, everyone.